Okay. We are live. Here we are. Give me a sec, guys. All right. Hmm. Okay. All right. Here I am. I am live and I'm in person. Hey guys, how we doing? We'll see. Hopefully some people will show up and, come say hello. And join us as we talk about the 2020 fall anime season as it is coming very, very soon. I have the live chart pulled up. Well, I don't have it pulled up yet, but hello, Logan Walters. How are you doing? And to Tehelium as well. Hi, guys. How you doing? Hope everybody is having a wonderful evening, afternoon, or morning, depending on where in the world you live. Let's see. Since Tehelium is in Australia, I can only assume probably be morning. Might be morning, might be early afternoon. I have no idea. You guys are on different times than I am. So I don't know. But good to see some people coming in. I just wanted to just talk about the 2020 fall season that's coming up. So, actually, hold on. Gonna go to share screen, Chrome tab, this, and hit the share button. So we should be. Yep, there it is. There's the fall 2020 anime season that's coming. So yeah, it's around 10 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I kind of had a guess, rough guess, because I mean for me it's Thursday. I'm assuming for you it's probably Friday, if I remember correctly from all the times that I streamed with Chris. If I have that correct, normally you guys are a day ahead of me. So, let's see. Can I share this somewhere else? Actually, I'm going to throw this onto one of the Discords. Dun, 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 dun. Da, 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 da. I don't know. I guess I'll throw it into the basic chat. Why not? Might as well, since I'm here. Duh, duh, duh. My joint manga review went up today on my channel. It did? I was not paying attention. I really need to catch up. Reviewing some Hunter x Hunter and Naruto. Ah, very good. Very good. Very nice. Da, 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 da. Kind of wish I had other people to talk to, but I don't know if anybody wants to chat with me today. But it's kind of gotten to that point. I need to, find people and actually sit down and have chats with individuals. But I don't bother to plan these things sometimes. And so it just kind of just happens where I'm just, I'm just hanging out. I know right now, from what I can ascertain from some of my other friends and whatnot, right now they're talking about Netflix and the what's it called? It's called Cutie show, and oh boy, oh my goodness, yeah. I don't know why that kind of bullshit is allowed. To be quite honest with you, oh boy. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Well, hmm. I'll just share this with one of the group chats that I'm a part of. Why not? Might as well see if anybody else wants to join the conversation. I don't know. Anyway, so let's see. Wait, where's the. What is this one? Huh. That's weird. Okay. So let's see. So apparently Fire Force is going to continue. So I don't need to worry very much about this one because I'm not completely caught up with Fire Force. I need to get back to that one here soon. Mostly from the summer season so far, what I've caught up with is the Misfit of the Demon Lord, or Misfit Demon Lord, and Rent a Girlfriend. Right now, those are what I'm mostly caught up with, but I need to get back to Fire Force and finish that. We have Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Season 3 is coming. And I recently finished season 2, so I'm caught up for this show. So when this comes out, I will be able to start watching the first season, or the third season, I should say. Wait, hold on. It's not going to be on Crunchyroll, so that might be a problem. And I have no idea what these other websites are. But that. Hmm. We've been watching some Boruto, Fire Force here. Been my present top 3. Boruto? Really? I don't know very much on the ways of if I would want to read those. It's really how do I put this? I like the original Naruto well enough, but well, for one, I never finished Naruto. I've slowly but surely tried to watch it. Most of the seasons are available on a few different platforms, so you can watch most of them. Haven't gotten through all of it yet, but I don't know about Boruto. It does not. It looks like, how do I put it? Looks more like a watered down version of Naruto. I don't know how good it can be. I don't think that Naruto should have been given a sequel. I think it should have just, stayed as it is, basically, and just kind of, that should have been the end of it, personally, but that's just me. I've never really checked out very much of Boruto, so I can't really say much to that. Okay. What else is here? Let's see. What other shows are here for? I cannot read this title. Mahaku Koko no Rutsuyo Rehouse Hen. Why do everybody insist on these titles? I can never translate them. Oh! You see, this would have been a lot better. Why didn't you just use this? The Irregular at Magic High School, Visitor Arc. This would have been a lot better. Why isn't it titled this? Because I can't read the other title. I can't read that title. DuPont fishing up the review on Dororo soon. I'm probably going to watch and maybe review. Yeah, sounds good. So yeah, this is the Irregular of Magic High School. I know this one. I've never watched it. I've heard not very many good things about it. But I don't know if I'd ever watch it or not. I've could watch it, but I don't know if it really interests me to go and watch it. Some of these light novel stories, some of them are really good, but then some of them are not that good. It depends on the source material, and from what I understand, basically, like high-level Mary Sue protagonist, sometimes that's okay. It depends on how it's handled, and from what I've heard, it's not handled very well, considering he's taken as a very as a straight man, and that doesn't always work out very well when you take a overpowered character and make them straight-laced, and they're not a joke character. So we've got more of Haikyuu. What the heck? My alarms! I've got alarms for days, guys. Alarms for days. So let's see. But Haikyuu is fun. That's the volleyball anime. It's actually a pretty good show if you're into watching a bunch of high schoolers play volleyball. And I don't mean to say that in a creepy way. Well, it wasn't the intention, I swear. But if you like sports anime and you like volleyball, or if you think that this might be interesting, it is pretty good. Okay, so this is something that's continuing on from Summer, the Great Pretender, which this is on Netflix right now, correctly. Um, Pretty good. Or well, no, I haven't watched it, but it's interesting. Um, it's an interesting premise about basically a bunch of con men, trying to swindle people out of money, if I remember correctly. Let's see, Nobilis. I believe, yeah, this is supposed to be a Crunchyroll original. I've never actually read the synopsis for it. Rizal awakens from his 820-year slumber. He holds the special title of Nobilis, a pure-blooded noble and protector of all other nobles. In an attempt to protect Rizal, his enrolls him at Yenra High School, where Riza learns the simple and quotidian routine of the human world. Okay. However, the Union, a secret society planning to take over the world, dispatches modified humans and gradually encroaches on, Rizal's life, causing him to wield his mighty power to protect those around him. After 820 years of intrigue, the secrets behind his slumber are finally revealed, and Rizal's absolute protection as the Nobilis begins. Sounds pretty prototypical. Sounds interesting, but I don't know if it's really, something that you could write home about. I've seen some of like the clips from the show and whatnot. It looks pretty good. But whether or not it's something that I'm interested in, I don't know. Okay, what is this one? Our Last Crusade or the Rise of a New World. Okay. See, is that so hard? Why don't you guys just give us that? I think I saw the trailer for this. The Empire is a mechanized utopia with highly developed science and technology. The nebulous sovereignty is a nation feared as the land of the witches, whose people use paranormal power. The two countries have been constantly at war for more than 100 years, but now two heroes have appeared in their respective lands. Iska has come to be recognized as the greatest military asset of the Empire at the youngest age in its history. Alincius is the princess of the noblest sovereignty, called the Ice Calamity Witch, with fear by her enemies. The two meet on the battlefield and become mortal enemies. Prides lock horns as they both fight uncompromisingly to protect their respective nations, families, and comrades. But as they get to know each other as real people during their fierce battle, they start to become attracted to each other's ways of life and ideals, though they are fully aware that fate will mock them cruelly, not allowing them to be together. Sure enough, the world's tensions heighten even more, and conspiracies of the major nations become more entangled. But even in such a world divided, this boy and girl cannot stop their feelings for each other. This sounds pretty good. You know, this one I'm interested, but I don't know who will be streaming it. Funimation, okay. Funimation has the rights to this one. Okay, cool. That actually helps me out a lot. So that means that when this comes out, I can check it out. Because this one sounds interesting. Sounds very Romeo and Juliet-esque, if you know what I mean. Wait, hold on. What was... Okay, so yeah. Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? It doesn't have an official thing. Of course, it's not officially fall yet. It won't be for another month or so. So who knows when we'll get more information. Hello, Adam. Swindlers, thieves, and hoodlums. Hello, Captain Omni. Nobilis, clearly his arch enemy are communists. I mean, it's possible. Who knows? Romeo and Juliet? Yeah, it definitely feels like that. this particular show called Our Last Crusade or The Rise of a New World definitely has some Romeo and Juliet vibes going on. Or at least something similar to that. So that will be something that I'll look into. I'm came to say hi and bye. I got stuff to do. Well, Underworld Dream, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. You have a good day. I'm a sucker for Romeo and Juliet style stories, so definitely something I want to check out. Ah, my ear itches so much. Ah, gross. Okay. Next. Jujutsu Kaisen. Now this one, I actually know this one. At least I'm fairly positive I know this one. Because this was from Shonen Jump. Yeah. A boy fights for the right death. Hardship, regret, shame, the negative feelings that humans feel become curses that lurk in our everyday lives. The curses run rampant through the world, capable of leading people to terrible misfortune and even death. What's more, the curses can only be exorcised by another curse. Itori Yuji is a boy with tremendous physical strength, though he lives as a completely ordinary high school life. One day, to save a friend who has been attacked by curses, he eats the finger of a double-faced specter, taking the curse into his own soul. From then on, he shares one body with the double-faced specter. Guided by the most powerful of sorcerers, Gojo Sotaro Itadori is admitted to a Tokyo Metropolitan Technical High School of Sorcery, an organization that fights the curses, and thus begins the heroic tale of a boy who becomes a curse to exorcise a curse, a life from which he can never turn back. When I read the first couple of chapters of the manga because people were recommending it to me, it's okay. I didn't really like this one, if I'm being completely honest. It was okay. But considering that there's so many supernatural mangas out there, it's really hard to compete. It's one of those things, especially when we're talking about high level supernatural stuff like this, it's really hard for me to get invested or interested in it. This one was okay. It was very shonen, and I wasn't all that impressed by it when I read it. So I doubt I will be watching it. I mean, it'd be interesting if, someone may. I have the manga of Jujutsu Kaisen. A lot of rave reviews. I don't really see the appeal. I know a lot of people seem to really like that, but I don't understand the appeal of it at all. I wish I did. Honestly, but I read it. I read like the first 5 chapters, and it was not for me. Silverlink Studio has done great lately, so I look forward. Is that who's going to be doing that particular show? No, that studio's Mappa. That's not them. So Silverlink Studio. Oh wait, is that? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Our Last Crusade will be Silverlink Studio. I saw the trailer, and the animation looked really good. So I am interested. I'm definitely interested in that one. And like I said earlier, I am interested in season 3 of, Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? That show is just, I just watch that for the sake of it being funny. There's no other real reason. I just watch it because it's fun. Okay. Tanaku Kawaii. Over the Moon for You. Let's see, what is this one? We have a romance. So that's always interesting. Let's see. Naza Yukazi falls in love at first sight after an encounter with the mysterious Tukasa? When Nasa earnestly confesses his feelings, she replies, "I'll date you, but only if we're married." Nasa and Tukasa's cute and precious newlywed life of love is about to begin. Okay. That sounds precious and adorable. it sounds so precious and adorable. I can't deny the fact that I'm probably going to watch that. I love wholesome shit. I really do. It's one of those, like, for me, like, if I were to tell you guys, like, what my brother tends to normally enjoy watching when it comes to anime and whatnot, he likes the dramas and whatnot for the most part. He's not as big into, like, the action stuff, or he's mostly the drama and the comedy guy. And I like dramas and comedies too. I'm kind of well versed when it comes to anime. I like watching a variety of different stuff, but this is something that I would definitely watch because it looks adorable and wholesome and funny. And like just looking at like the pictures and the images of the characters, they're just too damn precious not to watch. So yeah, I'm curious about that. That might be fun. So this was a manga too. I wonder which manga. 21 days. Okay. I may have to look up the manga at some point. I probably won't be buying it, but I should probably look into it in the future. This one. The Day I Became a God. Because I can never read the Japanese title, so I prefer to just read it by its English one. The Day I Became a God. One day during Yutena Namanaki Murakami, last summer vacation of high school, a girl named Hina suddenly appears and proclaims herself the all-knowing God. Hina announces to the thoroughly confused Yuta, the world will end in 30 days. Yuta then witnesses Hina's godlike powers of prophecy, convincing him that her powers are real. Hina's naive innocence believes her powers, and she decides to live at Yuta's home for some reason. Thus begins an eventful summer before the end of the world. Confused would be an understatement. It's not really a very good plot synopsis. I mean, it says it's a drama and a fantasy. So that might be interesting. I can't say that would be at the top of my list of things I'd want to watch. Although right now it doesn't have an official streaming service right now, but interesting, but not exactly something I'd probably jump. It looks kind of cute, but I don't know. That one's a bit odd to me. And this one, By the Grace of the Gods, is what this one is called. Let's see. When 39-year-old Taka Kobayashi Roma dies from blood loss after sneezing and hitting his head on the ground. Wait, what? That's how he dies? Truck-kun wasn't the one who took him out? He literally dies by sneezing and hitting his head on the ground. That must have been one powerful ass sneeze. I mean, I have a sneeze that's like a goddamn cannon, but I don't trip and fall on my head when I do it. Okay, but goofiness aside, he is reincarnated as an 8-year-old boy in a fantasy world. Not the greatest way to bite the dust, but at least he reincarnates. Set on his path by two major gods, Roma begins to live a life of solitude in the forest, studying slimes. But if you're a fan of isekai, you know life for him won't be that simple. Might be something funny to watch. I definitely want to watch just like the first opening part where he sneezes and dies. That part will be hilarious, I'm sure. Oh, hello, LK. Sounds like a show where the god lives with humans and realizes there is inherent goodness and therefore will stop the other gods from destroying the world. That might be the premise for that one. For this one. The Day I Became a God. That might be the intention. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's all a dream and it's not real. Who knows? I might check out the first episode to see what happens. Who knows? This one says, I'm standing on a million lives. Interesting title choice. Ninth grader Yusuke Yutsuka is practically friendless and not active in any clubs. Sounds familiar. Then one day, he and two female classmates are suddenly sent to another world where they must work together to battle for their lives. Yutsa is a lone wolf and has always lived his life according to his wants, but how will that work out now that he's supposed to be a hero? Oh, standard typical isekai nonsense then. Well, since I do like watching isekais for the fun of it, that one I will probably watch at some point. Doesn't sound very original, though, if I'm being honest. Of course, most isekais aren't very original, but I don't know. Sometimes some of them, when you read the synopsis, they sound even less interesting than most of them. The Journey of Elena. It's not about the destination. Okay. What's your favorite story? Does it have a hero who slays a dragon and saves a princess? Or a child of prophecy destined for greatness? Well, my favorite story is a little different. It's a tale of a witch who travels the world, seeking nothing in particular. With no quest of her own, she's free to wander wherever the winds take her, adding a few pages to the of whomever she meets before setting off on her next adventure. At the end of her travels, the witch takes on an apprentice who will one day begin her own journey, and so the cycle continues. Or so the story goes. Now, the witch who starts the story anew, who could she be? That's pretty interesting story. Kind of sounds very similar to what the anime. I've never watched it, but I know of it, called Kino's Journey. Kind of sounds a little similar to that. Might not be bad. That one might be. I tried to read By the Grace of the Gods manga. It's just cute slice of life and feel good. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong. What show? Okay, so LK is asking the all-important question of what show is the interspecies reviewers for the fall? Hold on. Oh. So basically, which show will be the most controversial show of the fall 2020 anime season? Because, hey, this summer we had Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out. That one was, really super controversial. And by that, I mean it's not even remotely controversial. It's the stupidest controversy I've ever seen in anime in my life. Seriously, she's just a big-titted anime girl who wants to harass her senpai. Come on, guys. And trust me, I'm calling it now. Seriously, I'm going to call it now. In about a few months, no one's going to remember her. Or at least the people who are outraged are not going to remember her. They're going to forget her. Trust me. They'll forget her just as quickly as they forgot Rising of the Shield Hero. They'll forget her just as quickly as they forgot. What was the other one? You missed a true controversial show of the summer, Superhero X. Yeah, that one would probably be a bit more. I don't know about that one. That one would probably be a bit more controversial than Uzaki-chan, probably. I know which one you're referring to. I've not watched it. I'm not that big into the ecchi stuff. I've watched some of Uzaki-chan, and that one's probably the most tame bullshit I've ever seen. It's just like really a few crude jokes, and that's about it. But for the most part, those people are not going to remember. And here's my recommendation: those people who get upset over these shows and whatnot, that think that they're too controversial or too questionable, here's how you deal with them. Here's my tip, which it's not really my own tip, it's everybody else's. Keep enjoying those shows and whatnot. Keep watching them and whatnot, and don't give a crap about what the people are what these people who are upset about. If it offends and upsets them, good. That's what you want them to do. Because they're not really a part of the community, or at the very least, they are too vocal about the things they dislike more so than the things that they actually do like. So there's no point in talking to them or conversing with them at all. The main people who I kind of wish more YouTubers would do this, actually, instead of, bitching about the companies and bitching about about 10 or 100 some odd ass people on Twitter who have the dumbest takes imaginable. I'd much prefer supporting the actual creators themselves on Twitter or on social media, promoting their stuff and actually giving good, feedback to those creators. Don't pay any attention to the idiots on Twitter, because hey, they're not worth a damn. I've been laughing that Funimation pulled reviewers, and I've been streaming Hero X is basically teenage off-brand. Oh my god. Yeah, it's a bit weird. For some reason, apparently Twitter was more focused on Uzaki-chan than that show. Funimation is a bit weird, but I don't really know how to add to that conversation. I honestly didn't give a rat's ass that Reviewers was pulled from Funimation because it was not a show I was going to watch. The fallout from that was even more idiotic and ridiculous than the show being pulled. Because, I mean, what was it? Recently, people started saying, like, oh, hey, Viz Media, or not Viz Media, but Right Stuff has the license for the DVDs, which means probably Nozumi Entertainment or something to that nature. Somebody picked up the license, and it's now you can now buy the DVDs if you want. I knew somebody was going to do that at some point. I pretty much saw that happening because, supply and demand. If the show is popular enough and people want it enough, someone's going to step in and cover that base. There's no point in... Well, I wouldn't say there's no point in calling Funimation out for dropping it. But here's the thing about companies. They do have the right to drop whatever shows they want whenever they want. I mean, this has happened multiple times. Funimation used to have all the legal rights to all of, at least multiple seasons of Case Closed. Now they don't anymore. So, they can drop shows whenever they want. Netflix does it. Funimation does it. Crunchyroll does it. So it's not the worst thing in the world if they drop it. Reviewers turned out to be a real fun show. I will probably pick up the Blu-ray. It's a company owned by Right Stuff, and I don't know which one that is. It could be Naozumi Entertainment because they're the ones who release all the Gundam DVDs. And you can buy most of those on Right Stuff. So, give me a sec. I needed water. But will this fall season have a controversial show? To be quite honest, I'm not sure. Just from reading the ones that we have read so far, I don't really see any controversy cropping out of any of these so far. Who knows? Someone might. Higurashi When They Cry, which is, what is this? This episode continues into the winter season. Setting into peaceful Himisawaka village, making quick friends with the girls from his school, he arrives in time for a big festival of the year, but something about this isolated town seems off, and his feelings of dread continue to grow, with a gnawing fear that he's right, What dark secrets could this small community be hiding? So this is a remake of Higurashi, I guess. This seems to be. I'm seeing a trend of older shows being remade again because they recently remade Fruits Basket, so I guess Higurashi's getting the same treatment too. Interesting. I know a lot of characters died in this show. I've never watched the original, but I do know of it. You know. But I'm not sure I'm interested in that one. That one might be interesting. Who knows? Yashimi Princess Half Demon. This is a sequel to Inuyasha. The daughters of Shishimaru and Inuyasha set out on a journey transcending time. In feudal Japan, half-demon twins Toa and Setsuan are separated from each other during a forest fire while desperately searching for her younger sister. Toa wanders into a mysterious tunnel that sends her into present-day Japan, when she is found and raised by Kagome Higurashi's brother Sota and his family. 10 years later, the tunnel that connects the two eras has reopened, allowing Toa to be reunited with Setsuna, who is now a demon slayer working for Kohaku. But to Toa's shock, Setsuna appears to have lost all memories of her older sister. Joined by Mohara, the daughter of Inuyasha and Kagome, the three young women travel between the two eras on an adventure to regain their missing past. I never really watched Inuyasha before, so I'd have to watch all of Inuyasha probably to watch this one. So that's probably not going to happen anytime soon. Yeah, I kind of figured that the Higurashi was a remake. Thank you, Adam Knight. I appreciate it. The imprint distribution reviewer is Critical Mass, which is owned by Red Stuff. Ah, thank you. Thank you for that clarification. There you go. There's the clarification for those who are curious. There we go. That's definitely helpful. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay. Yeah, excuse me. Okay. Golden Kamuy third season is coming. I never watched the first two, so I'm not really interested in this season either. So, Moriarty the Patriot. Okay. In the late 19th century, Great Britain rules over a quarter of the world. Nobles sit in their fancy homes in comfort and luxury, while the working class slaves away at their jobs. When young Albert James Moriarty's upper-class family adopts two lower-class orphans, the cruelty the boys experience at his family's hands cements Albert's hatred of the nobility he was born into. He asks the older of the two boys, who has a genius mind and a killer instinct, to help him rid the world of evil, starting with Albert's own family. Huh. Sounds interesting. Definitely an interesting one. That one might be a fun, like, mystery. Yeah, psychological mystery thing. Shonen. Not bad. That one might be an interesting watch. Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle. Interesting title. Shh! Princess Silas is trying to get a good night's sleep. Some shut-eye. 40 winks. Catch some Z's. Long ago in olden times, when people and demons lived together in, well, disharmony, really, a demon king kidnapped a human princess and imprisoned her in his castle. Bereft, the princess subject beats their chests in anguish until a hero arises to spearhead Project Rescue our princess. While waiting for her knight in shining armor, what's an imprisoned princess to do? Teddy bear guards with bat wings are all very well, but her dungeon cell is boring. So she decides to while away the long hours by sleeping. Now, if only she could get comfortable and didn't suffer from insomnia. Okay. That's kind of a funny little show right there. That was funny. I'm gonna be watching Yashimi for nostalgia. Hell yeah, man. I mean, if you watched Inuyasha, then hell yeah. Sounds like you're better. I am better. I don't know if the smoke has dissipated much, but at least I'm sounding a lot better and I'm not coughing as much. I love Sleepy Princess manga. It's a great comedy. Well, if you're recommending it, Adam, then hey, maybe we'll check that one out. That one might be worth a watch. Thank you, Adam. Might check that one. Might actually watch that one. That might be something fun to watch. Sleepy Princess is making Nightwolf sleepy. Oh, yeah, sleep is contagious. Yawn. Hey, Shinobi, if you're free right now, you want an invite? I could use somebody to talk to while I'm going through all this. But if you're not, it's okay, you know. Okay, so this show is called Kuma 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 Bear. Wait, isn't Kuma just another word for bear in Japanese? I'm very confused. 15-year-old Yuna prefers staying home and obsessively playing her favorite VR MMO game to doing anything else, including going to school. When a strange new update gives her a one-of-a-kind bear outfit that comes with overpowered abilities, Yuna is torn. The outfit is unbearably cute, but too embarrassing to wear in game. But then she suddenly finds herself transported into the world of the game, facing down monsters and magic for real, and the bear suit becomes the best weapon she has. Okay, so it's an isekai where a girl gets a bear suit. That's adorable. I did. Shoot me a link. Okay, I will do that right now. Copy to clipboard. Give me a hot minute, my friend. I will get you in here as soon as humanly possible. Wait. Da 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 da. And boop. The link has been sent. The deed has been done. The world is over. And we can finally rest. Okay, so obviously I did read the synopsis for Kuma 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 Bear. That is honestly, it looks cute as hell. If I'm being honest. Would I watch it? Probably. I am somewhat of a sucker for cute things, so I would probably watch this. And Bob?
Not too much. Kuma 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 Bear, huh? I have no idea what Kuma means in Japanese.
Yeah. I have to watch the
One thing for sure.
I'm fairly positive that means bear.
Probably. One thing's for sure, it's not featuring the bear from Tekken.
Came to mind when I saw Kuma. What does... I'm actually going to look it up.
Yeah.
Kuma mean in English. Wait, no. Maybe not in English. Cat means bear.
Okay, so it does mean bear.
Kuma means bear in Japanese.
Wow. So the boys at Namco. So the boys at Namco
were. Tekken is quite literally just bear.
All that money in the world, he doesn't have an ounce of creativity. Nice one, Hihachi.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing with like the word okami. Okami means
Yeah.
wolf in Japanese.
Yeah.
So the game Okami is quite literally just wolf, just in Japanese.
Right.
And the only reason why I know that or that I remembered that was because I watched an anime many years ago called Okami-san and Her Seven Companions. And she is literally the big bad wolf. A lot of the characters are like a representative from a fairy tale, like Little Red Riding Hood, the big bad wolf, the hunter.
Okay, I think I have
there
seen
was
that.
one of the episodes was quite literally Cinderella. Yeah. English title: Bear, 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 Bear. Yep, pretty much. But it's not nearly as cute and adorable as the title for the Japanese one.
Yeah.
I did not expect to love Bofuri. Yeah, I've actually watched Bofuri before. That's the one where the girl plays an MMO and she raises all her defense stats because she doesn't want to get hurt in the game. Because apparently, I think there was like a pain receptor in the game or something. I don't know. But she max outs her defense stats so goddamn much, she's literally untouchable. She also maxed it out to the point where she can't even run.
Well, defense doesn't equal vitality. What? Wait, defense doesn't equal stamina.
True. That's the reason why she can't really move.
Yeah.
But that show was actually pretty cute and also somewhat funny.
Oh no, I have a really strong defense, but I can't hit anything because my attack power is so weak.
Actually, that's the kind of the polar opposite. Some of her defensive skills turned out to be attack skills too. So she's pretty OP in her own right. She can hit pretty hard. I think that one of the things is to gain abilities in the game, I believe you have to eat the monsters. I think, or she actually ended up eating the monsters. One of the monsters she ate was a Hydra.
Kind of like Queen from Final Fantasy IX. It eats certain monsters and gets.
She gained the powers of the Hydra.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, pretty much. I was afraid it was going to be a sequel to the Lesbian Bear Show. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I have no.
Oh man, he left.
Sorry about that. I left on accident. That was I backed out of the wrong tab.
Okay.
My bad. I pressed the farthest left tab instead of the middle one. So I ended up backing out of my own stream. Ipsies. My bad.
Well, the good news, the good news is, as long as someone's in the stream yard, the stream goes on. And then there was silence.
What happened?
I was going to ask you the same question.
Now there's two of me. What the fresh hell's going on?
Yeah, why are there like some...
Hello, Rebirth. How are you? Well, don't mind me. Just technical difficulties. Apparently.
Yeah.
Now there's two of them on the screen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna remove this one. I don't know how that happened, and I am no longer sharing my screen. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I need to go back and I need to read the Chrome tab.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, so please do not do that again, StreamYard. I don't want to have to deal with your bullshit.
Yeah.
Wait, the Lesbian Bear show was Yuri Kuma Arashi. Never heard of it. Can't say I'm aware of what it is.
Yeah.
Not one I have heard of before. Okay. Now let's see. Let's continue, shall we?
Yep.
Let's see. Dachi and Shimura. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so it's a romance slice of life one. Okay. Known for skipping class on the regular, two girls' lives become intertwined when they find each other on the second floor of the gym. From there, Adachi and Samaria's friendship slowly grows as they play ping pong and hang out. But when something happens that changes their relationship, how will they react? Okay. So...
Yuri Bay.
Okay. Yuri bait. I'm betting. I'm betting on Yuri bait. It's bait. This is bait. This one is totally bait.
Yeah.
We
Sad thing is, yeah.
But
Sad
guarantee
thing,
that that's bait. Nothing is probably going to happen in that. What? What were you going to say?
I was going to say this has about a 45% chance of having the relationship develop more than the Kurosami ever has.
Probably.
Ooh, a sports anime.
Sports climbing girls. You were going to say something?
No, I was saying sports anime.
Yay! This one might... Well, I mean, this one will definitely get people's attention considering it's attractive ladies climbing up walls. I'm sure that'll get... That's a fetish somewhere.
Yeah.
The manga centers around girls who compete in sports climbing, particularly climbing artificially constructed walls. First-year high school student Konomi Kasahara discovers this sport at Hayamaya Girls' High School after training her mind with puzzle games during junior high. Yay! Yeah, that's pretty much just anime girls climbing walls. Not that that's a bad thing.
Why not? We've already had girls play baseball in anime.
Yeah, we had girls play baseball. We also had girls play literally bumper cars, kind of. What would you call Kojo? Because it's technically a game of sumo, but only with your butt. I never watched the show, but I remember I've seen enough of the clips and I know about its existence. But that's about all I know about it.
In some circles, we call that sexual harassment waiting to happen.
I'm interested in King's Race because OLM and Sunrise Beyond Studios make Pokemon and Gundam, and they don't follow the game. Oh, well, it might be interesting. Who knows? Unless it's an alien invasion or one of them turns out to be an alien. Are you referring to the one that might be Yuri bait?
Maybe.
I mean, it could turn into that. We don't know. The synopsis doesn't tell us that. It might turn into a sci-fi thing where it turns out one of them's an alien. This is anime we're talking about. Who knows? It might happen. It could definitely happen. We can't rule out the possibility.
Yeah.
Right?
Nope.
Let's see. Talentless Nana. Okay. What is this? An academy on an island is in unnavigable waters. What the fresh hell is that type of name? What is that word? Basically saying that you can't navigate it, basically, is what I'm assuming that's supposed to mean. But I didn't think unnavigable would be how you would say that, but maybe it is. Their students train tirelessly to fight back against the enemies of humanity. The protagonist, a student newly transferred there, also sets out with the intention of eradicating all enemies of humankind. An unpredictable, intellectual suspense story of justice and evil. It looks completely harmless. I'm not really getting the vibe of what this synopsis is telling me. The imagery of the picture is throwing me for a loop. It looks way too cute and harmless to be what it's talking about. I can't predict that she won't be a natural climber, but her skill in puzzles will allow her to figure out the quickest path up the wall, and she will end up being the fastest climber. Probably. That's normally how sports anime works. I read the Talentless Nana manga. You know when you get pink hair girl in anime. I mean, if you're into that, I mean, far be it from me to, dissuade you. Pink hair anime girl. Why not? It's normally not my first choice. I mean, so far, I'm looking yet. I don't know. Probably closest one right now is the one from this show, Our Last Crusade. I definitely like the design of the girl in that one. Definitely attractive, but don't know. Akuduma Drive. What is this? This looks interesting. The series is in a post-war world where Kuto and Kanagashi groups face off in Japan, dividing the country in two. As Kanase becomes a dependent of Kanto, governing officials and police begin to lose control to an increasing presence of crime. Okay, that synopsis does not really tell me very much. Art style looks really cool. But other than that, I have no idea what it's talking about. So she's a maniac pixie dream girl? She could be. Who knows?
Yes.
Only if you read the manga. If you read the manga, you would know. Dragon Quest 2020. I don't think I really need to explain that. It's Dragon Quest.
So they finally made that into an anime series, huh?
Apparently a 2020 anime series. It doesn't look like it's connected to any of the games, though. I don't recognize the characters at all.
Yeah.
So it might be its own thing.
Good.
Which
could be.
Not a bad choice.
Yeah, it could be. None of the Final Fantasy animes. None of the Final Fantasy animes had anything to do with the games.
Except for 7 and the ones that were done for 15.
Right. I keep forgetting those exist.
We can't forget Advent Children. You can't forget Advent Children is a thing.
As much as
I've tried to forget it. Go ahead.
Continue.
I was going to let you continue. You were about to say something.
The defense rests. Yeah. No, but yeah, why not Dragon Quest? I'm hoping it's good.
One can only hope.
Yeah.
I need my second season of Kaijo and
Uh,
Unamasmo Pretty Derby. I think I've heard of Pretty Derby before. Is that the one about horse girls? I'm gonna assume that because it's called Pretty and Derby in the title.
the only thing close girls related I could think of is like a centaur's life or something among those words, and that's something completely different.
Yeah. No, that I do remember another one. I think that there's an anime adaptation that's supposed to promote the Japanese derby.
Mm.
They actually made an anime adaptation to promote the Japanese horse derbies, apparently.
Oh, I see.
But the girls are not centaurs, as far as I'm
Right.
aware. They're just girls with horse ears, I think, or something. I don't even remember if they had ears or anything.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So OK is explaining it in chat. Yeah. Yes, it's the one with the horse girls who race and then are also idols. Yeah.
As in idol singers?
I thought the name sounded familiar. Yeah, they're idol singers, but they're also derby horses.
Okay.
Japan, everybody.
Well, as far as idols go, you can't let Macross have all the fun.
This is true. We have to have idols of all varieties.
Yes.
Variety is the spice of life. Okay, what is this? Ikeburo Westgate Park. Story follows the cool-headed Makoto as he navigates the pressures of an encroaching gang life in the G-Boys due to his friend King being a leader. Okay. Makoto sees an opportunity to become a troubleshooter for the gang as a way to keep things calm and protect his friends. But when someone close to him is killed, and a rival gang kicks off a turf war, Makoto will find it a bit tough to stay cool. Okay. So it's a gang story.
Japan's got that thug life too.
I'm surprised it doesn't have the... Yep. Normally it's called Yakuza.
Yes, I was thinking.
Right?
Most times.
But it does not say Yakuza in the title. Probably get you a bit more traction.
Yeah.
Assault Lily Banquet. Or Bouquet. I think that's... the Bouquet. On Earth in the near future, humanity faces an imminent destruction from mysterious giant creatures known as Huge. Banger name for the enemies. Huge. Giant creatures called Huge. You might as well just have called them Big, and you would have been wouldn't be any different. The entire world unites against the Huge and successfully develops weaponry known as Charm, counter huge arms. Okay. That's not really how an anagram, or, that's not how this works.
That's not how any of this works.
Isn't each letter supposed to mean something?
I thought so.
What is it called? Gundam it's called an anagram, right?
I have no idea.
I think. But yeah, it only stands for counter huge arms. Okay, well, wait, no. Arms is just one whole word, and then the other two are the anagram. In science and magic, Charm exhibits high rates of synchronization with, surprising to no one, teenage girls. Because of course it does. And the girls who use Charm are viewed as heroes called lilies throughout the world. Garden military academies are established to train lilies to face the Huge and to serve as bases to protect and guide people. This is a story about fighting girls who aim to become lilies at one such garden. Okay.
So if the Earth forces develop lilies and most speed, they wouldn't have. They wouldn't have. They wouldn't be overrun with inbit.
Yes. And now we have our candidate for the Hente disguised as a monster battling show. I mean, it could be.
Yeah. Yep.
But it doesn't say it in the descriptions, so I'm gonna go with probably no. And there's Eric. Hey, Eric, how are you? Welcome to the stream, where you will probably have very little to contribute, but I appreciate you here anyway. I just wanted people to keep me company while I went over this stuff. I was very lonely.
Make sure he doesn't fall asleep. At least
me
not
asleep during a stream.
Well, you are young.
Who am I? Do I look like Mr. E to you? do I? I have never done that before. How dare you, sir? How? Thank you, Eric. I appreciate you dropping the like, which, by the way, means, hey, here, let me plug myself further. Drop the like on the video. Since I didn't say that earlier, do so now.
For a second, I read this title wrong.
Did you? What'd you read it as?
Well, for a second I was going to be like, oh god, not another slice of life anime trying to take the Gotcha Man name.
Oh. Is the Order of Rabbit Bloom. Okay, that's a... Coco's second summer in the woodwork town is about to come to an end. The event-filled autumn is nigh. Okay. At school and at the rabbit house, too. Wait, I think I recognize this show. I don't think I watched it, but I do recognize it. I may have watched an episode somewhere. But I think this is a sequel to another show about a cafe with a bunch of cute girls.
Oh.
But as it says, comedy, slice of life. So, yeah. I think I'm aware of this show. I think I know it. I think I've seen it before.
Right. Jeez, Japan, can you stop with the slice of life stuff?
I thought it was Gotcha. No. I'm only... How is that different from any stream? Wait,
no, I'm saying...
No, I was responding to Eric.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
No, I was saying... okay, this one looks pleasing. Warlords of Sigra or Driffa.
Sigriffa.
Yeah, I guess.
Almost Sigurd. Warlords of Sigurd. Can we go with Warlords of Sigurd?
We'll go with that.
Okay. Okay, what is this? It says action fantasy. Okay. The pillars suddenly appear on Earth, posing a threat to all life forms. Okay. Running out of options to protect themselves, humanity finds itself on the brink of extinction. As it tends to do sometimes when the world is coming to an end. But a god named Odin offers them a way to salvation. Odin proclaims a counterattack against the pillars by bestowing humanity with young female pilots with supernatural powers. Okay, hold on. Is this it? If this is a mecha show, you have my... Wait. I see airplanes in the picture.
I was thinking...
Are they going to be cute?
Well, they already... Well, they have... Well, Valkyries were mentioned, so why not?
Yeah. Okay, so anime girls fighting in airplanes. The Valkyries. And their spirit fighter planes as a means of fighting back. Okay. The battle between humanity and the pillars has not abated, even after several years have passed. The The Valkyries in their spirit fighter planes, as well as the men who support them, risk their lives in the skies to save the Earth. Japan is no exception.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I thought it would be the exception this time.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so there are going to be... Okay, so I shouldn't be expecting any Gerwalks in this anime.
What is a Gerwalk?
You know that cross between a plane and a
Sounds
robot?
familiar. Oh,
That's an
so
airplane. It's given
the
arms and
battle is
legs.
from...
Yeah, it's a cross between a Battleline and a Veritech.
Yeah, that's what instantly came to my mind when you started talking about it. I'm like, oh yeah, them.
Yeah.
Over Sacred Mount Fuji, they are all very skilled, but every last one of them is... What?
Every last one of them is a troublemaker. Oh boy.
Yeah, it says every last one of them's a troublemaker. An ace pilot joins them from Europe, but has a checkered past. Past. Humanity now is the time to fight back.
It's a 15th squad all over.
The final battle of Ragnarok is fast approaching.
Yeah. And our last line of defense is the 15th Squadron.
Yep. Odin sounds more like something Zeus would do. Not necessarily. Valkyrie, Odin, makes sense. Yeah. And how do the men support them? Do they sit inside the spirit planes? I don't know. I'm actually curious now. Now that you said it, now I need to know. Is this kind of like an Azur Lane kind of thing? Are the girls turning into the airplanes themselves? Or are they just in the airplanes themselves and the boys are like on the ground supporting them in other means? Because the boys can't fly the airplanes, because heaven forbid.
Yeah.
It's not engaging or interesting enough. Men can't be the main protagonists.
Yeah. Well, look how long it took UN Spacey to actually hire females to PI pilots.
Yeah.
It took like 50 years to figure out, hey, women can fly these things as well as the men can.
Yeah, is it like Azur Lane or more like Darling in the Franxx? Let's double check the tags real quick. Hold on a second. No, I can't confirm anything, unfortunately. Because that's the one thing that is also slightly confusing about Azur Lane, too. Because according to that thing, apparently there are people on board the boat.
Wait, did they just set the reset button on Digimon?
Yes. This actually started this summer, actually. I haven't really watched it, so I don't really know how well it works. Basically, they just tried to update the story to be more modern. You know, where it's actually the year 2020. It's retelling the same story, but it's 2020 now. So, right. You know, internet is completely different than what it was in the 90s.
Right.
I don't know if it's any good or not.
Yeah.
I can't say for sure.
So the digital world's not going to be the same hellspace it was when we saw it the first time around.
Well, the digital world still exists, but you know, kind of probably. Yeah, you see, it's mentioning. I guess we can read the synopsis just to double check. Let's see, it's the year 2020. The network has become something humans can no longer do without in their daily lives. Fairly true. But what you know is that on the other side of the network is the digital world, a realm of light and darkness. Nor are they aware of the Digimon who live there. Widespread network difficulties arise centered around the Tokyo area. Traffic signals blink chaotically, public outdoor TV displays garble text, and so on. The news reports it as a case of cyber terrorism. And then it goes into basically the same plot.
Yeah.
Well, similar plot. Its creator Taichi stayed home. Go ahead.
Yeah, Tai goes on a camping trip and ends up in a digital world fighting monsters.
Yeah, but this one is a little different because it says as he goes to a summer camp, but his mother and little sister Hikari went to Shibuya, and now they're aboard a runaway train. Taichi hurries to Shibuya to save his mother and sister, but the instant he heads towards the station platform, a strange phenomenon befalls the Digidestin, and Taichi goes to the digital world. Digidestin meet their partner Digimon, and they are faced with the adventure into the unknown. So it's similar, but except for the part where he ends up going back home to try and help his mom and sister.
Yeah. I'm guessing Kari's in better health here.
Possibly. Who knows? Yeah. I'm not sure. Taiso Samurai. The year 2002, the formerly powerful Japanese men's gymnastic team member Shotaro Akagi is no longer able to compete, even though he trains strenuously daily. He is asked about retiring by his coach Amakusa. However, a certain encounter alters Akagi's fate. So, gymnastics with boys. Sports show. Not really interested in that one.
Yeah.
This one, I think I actually read this because it was kind of funny. I think I read this already. Called Rail Romanesque. In Hitomo, a fictional version of Japan, where for a long time railway travel serves as the most important form of transport. It still technically is in Japan. Each locomotive was paired with a humanoid control module, so-called Rail Lord, that aided the train operator. However, many rail lines have been discontinued due to the rising popularity of aerocrafts, a safe and convenient aerial mode of transport. As such, their accompanying rail lords also went into deep sleep. So Tetsu has lost his entire family in a rail accident and was adopted into the Megeta household, which runs a Shucho brewery in the city of... Oh, I don't know why I said it that way, but it's funny. He returned to his hometown to save it from the potential water pollution that would occur if they accepted the proposal to build an aerocraft factory nearby. He woke up the rail lord Hachikaru by accident and became her owner. From different purposes, they agreed to help find her lost locomotive with the help of his stepsister Hibiki, the town's mayor, and local railway chief Paulette, and others. So basically, train waifu. Waifus, but with trains.
Yeah.
There is another anthropomorphic naval girl show. I can't think of the name. I wish you would, because I'd love to know about... Wait, no. Naval girls? Oh, you're thinking Kentai Collection.
Oh.
That was the one before Azur Lane existed. You're thinking Kentai Collection. Never really watched it. I play a lot of Azur Lane, though, so... I know more about Azur Lane than I do about Kentai Collection. But this might be fun to watch just for the sheer silliness of it.
Yep.
I like my anthropomorphic anime girls. If I've spent way too much time in Azur Lane, who's to say I'm not going to enjoy that? Pokemon 2019. I don't care. Does anybody care about Pokemon at this point?
Oh, you might be a diehard Pokemon.
Show of hands. I mean, I still like the games, but not really interested in the anime very much.
I think more people...
Because it sounds... What was it? It sounds like Ash finally won a Pokemon League in the last one, but I don't know.
It's new protagonist time.
I think... Still not new protagonist. I see Ash in the picture.
Good Lord. Come on, get that one. Get that one girl from I don't know, what's her name? B or Bay or something.
Hmm. I don't know. Um, I have no idea. I don't know. Ash, you know what? It was really kind of disappointing. The one team, I can't remember what season it was, but it was a long time ago where Ash had probably one of his best teams possible, but he still couldn't win the league. And I'm like, seriously? He had the most character development. I think it was the Hoenn arc or the Hoenn season. It was either that or was the fourth season. I can't remember. Or the fourth series.
Well, we still have to prove the point that he'll never fulfill his dream of being a Pokemon the master or something. I still don't know what that means.
What is this? Getsu Warhead Surets. Two young people living in the Warhead Empire are planning to relocate to the capital city. Shy Emmanuel, who works as a transporter and was once an important Wait, what? Works as a transporter and was once an important young sister, and Licardio, a naive new soldier in an empire who spent his days in the Imperial City thinking of his future as a soldier. In the Empire, countless human beings were once extinguished from the world. The return of the light, the disaster that summoned a ferocious monster into the world, is predicted, and the remaining human spirits are devastated. Meanwhile, the fate of Emmanuel, the Sidio, and the history of the Empire will change drastically as a result of one weapon smuggling incident. I cannot understand anything I just read. Except for all I got was Empire, Monster, and people having to deal with something.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me either.
No.
Strike Witches again?
Yep, Strike Witches are back. Apparently, Road to Berlin. I've actually never watched Strike Witch, so I don't really.
It's not good.
I don't know. I don't think anyone's ever recommended that I watch it.
I don't recommend you watch it.
Real Romanesque is harem? Apparently it is, yes. That's what it said under the taglines. I mean, with multiple girls, it only makes sense.
Yeah.
Since there's going to be a male protagonist and a bunch in the picture, yes. Must be a harem. It only makes sense, guys.
Yeah.
What was it? New Strike Witches. Oh, yeah, said nobody. I'll smoke.
Because,
really?
because anyone who's watched it knows how bad it is.
No smoking. We gotta teach those train girls not to smoke.
I was just keeping it in my mouth, honest.
Anyway. Yeah, I don't know if anyone's ever showed it. Talk to me about Strike Witches, so I don't know if it's worth anything. Worth watching. Maybe I'll watch it. Who knows? Someday. You never know. Dropout Idol Fruit Tart. Okay. Dropout Idol, huh? Series follows a group of show business dropouts. Rookie idol Sakura Ino, promising newcomer Midori Hemo, former child actor Senkyo Roko, former model Minahara Nina, former musician Nuki Hayo. Ohio! Who all live in a dormitory together. But when it's revealed that the dorm is set to be demolished, manager Kyanjo Hono Ho-Ho. It says Ho-Ho. It's the Pokemon Ho-Ho, guys! The Pokemon Ho-Ho has a plan and starts a new idol group called Fruit Tart with the girls and pay off the hefty 100 million yen debt. Of course, the generous God Ho would grace these girls with its presence. I don't know why I made it that way, but it made it 5 times more funnier than the actual synopsis itself. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Only Rail Romanesque is harem this season? Hold on. Not necessarily. Give me a moment. Wait, nope. I guess nope. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? Doesn't count. Although I would strongly disagree with that, considering there are multiple girls. It's awfully close, considering most of the girls seem to be obsessed with what the hell is his name? What's the main character's name? I'm dropping Bell. I mean, most of the girls like him. He's got his goddess Hestia. His name is Bell. Have you never watched?
No, I haven't.
What is that a funny name? I mean, I guess it kind of is.
Well, whenever I think of Belle, I think of a certain Disney character.
Fair point. A good amount of the characters actually call him by his full name. They call him Belle Carnell.
Well, at least it's
which
not
makes
Bella
it sound
Swan.
a little less weird.
Well, at least it's not something like Bella Swan.
Yeah. But I'm surprised it doesn't say harem underneath because, yeah, guy kind of has a harem going on. Let's be completely honest here. I mean, he's being pursued by a goddess, for one. Not Hestia, but Freya seems to be interested in him. Actually, most of the goddesses have interest in him. Most of the female adventurers have interest in him in some form or fashion. And even supporting characters like him. Like a couple of the maids from the local, what would you call it? Tavern. Like him. Some romantically, some not so romantically. But still, I still think that counts. Why is this not counted as a harem? Except for the fact that he doesn't spend an exorbitant amount of times with all of them. I mean, everyone considers the show The World God Only Knows as a harem, and he barely spends less than 3 episodes with each girl. So, what's the difference here? Wait, hold on. Is this one? No, that one is not a harem either. Okay. I thought it might be, but I was wrong. Maybe we only have one harem show this year. Or for this season. I don't know. I'm not seeing a whole lot of them, that's for sure.
Jeez. Has the harem genre died out or something?
Never. New dungeon need delay. Yay. What? One Room, 3rd season. No synopsis given, so I have no idea what the show is about. Apparently it's called One Room.
I guess they're still working on it.
Yeah, apparently they're working on the title of the show too. Hypnosis Mike Division Rap Battle Rhyme Anima. Okay. The world where women now dominate the government. The creation and use of weapons is strictly forbidden. Okay, interesting. However, by no means has conflict been brought to an end. Instead of weapons, war is waged through words. Yeah, with the power of Hypnosis Mike, lyrics can affect one's opponents in various ways and cause real damage. Those in the divisions outside the woman only Choho Ward thus use it for fierce rap battles, guys. They're gonna drop bars as their weapon in the constant clash for territory. Well, still technically this would still be considered basically an idol show, but probably with boys.
Probably. Yeah.
And instead of pop idol songs, it's gonna be raps.
I can't judge my favorite anime of
I
all
don't know
time.
how I feel about that.
I don't think I'm in a position to judge here because my favorite anime involved an idol singer that eventually saved the world from extinction from an alien attack.
True. One room is weird. The girls talk to you. Wait, what? I'm sorry, what? Excuse me? Is that what it is? Is it kind of like one of those VR things where the girl just stands there and talks to you for some reason? Wait, hold on. I think I've already experienced this once before.
Virtual waifus.
What? Yes, virtual waifu, but not entirely. I think it was what was it? It was the anime I think from last year called Helpful Fox Senko-san, which was a pretty cute show in its own right, if I remember correctly. But there were scenes like where it just showed her just standing in front of you and talking to you, and some of the other Fox characters too talk to you. But it wasn't like, oh, hey, they're talking to the main character. No, they're talking to you and saying, hey, do you need help with something? Or, it's like, oh, you've had a long day. Here, let me talk to you for a bit. Like, maybe, can I offer you dinner? Maybe a beverage?
So it's like a light novel, but less interactive?
Don't you mean visual novel? Light novel you actually read. Visual novel is one you interact with.
Yes.
Oh god, that show sounds awful, and I fully expect all the SJW anime bloggers will go nuts for it. Which one? Which one will they go crazy for?
I'm confused about that too.
One Room, maybe? I mean, possibly. Who knows? The only anime that I know that's supposed to be coming relatively soon, at some point, that might garner controversy is that one about a guy who's a healer, but ends up becoming the strongest character and tortures and hurts all of his previous party members. I can't remember what it's called. But a lot of people were basically giving it red flags like, oh yeah, this one's going to be the next Goblin Slayer, the next Rising of the Shield Hero, the next Uzaki-chan. This is the one that everybody's going to lose their shit over. Or Demon Slayer. Wait, people didn't like Demon Slayer?
At least I thought that was controversial.
I didn't think Demon Slayer caused any... I know that there was that whole outrage with a fan who drew the...
Isn't Demon Slayer that one with the yokai chick with the scroll in her mouth?
Yeah. That's the one.
It may. I think the controversy involved her in some way, but I don't remember what they said. Probably sexualizing her or something.
Yeah, it was. Someone drew her as an adult. I remember that. That's what I remember. People got upset that a fan drew her as an adult, and then said it was pedophilia or some bullshit because
even though she's even though she's 1,000-some-year-old yokai or some kind of demon thing.
She's still technically a little girl. She's not growing up, or she hasn't grown up in the show yet. But logic does not matter. So
yes, I know.
It's like imagining, like taking any character, like here's an example. Let's take Goku for example. When his story first started, he was what, like
8,
10?
6?
Not even 10. He was like 8.
He was like
8 years old, maybe. Yeah, barely nearing his teenage years. He didn't hit his teenage years until partway through Dragon Ball. And
he was still pretty jacked for an 8-year-old.
Well, true, but that's not the point. Eventually, he did grow up.
Yeah,
It's
they
like
all did.
Goku grew up and became an adult. Eventually, characters grow up. Naruto grew up.
Gohan
Luffy
grew
still
up.
looks the same. Gohan grew up. A lot of characters grow up. The only character who never grew up was Krillin.
He just
Because he
grew
didn't
old.
gain any height.
Yeah, yeah. He just grew.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he just grew old in GT.
Yeah. But hey, let's give the man credit. He did get to marry 18, so kudos to that.
Who has an ace of days
Better
because he's an
baller,
android.
better baller than Goku, that's for sure.
Yeah, he made out even better than Vegeta.
True.
Although that,
Yeah,
that is debatable. That is
18's the
debatable.
most stable out of all of them.
Yeah, but Bulma's rich, so that's open for
kind of
debate.
debatable. It's debatable which one of them is the more stable. I would give it to 18. More so because she's the least annoying out of the two wives or the three wives that we have. Except for, Videl probably.
Yeah.
Videl's probably the most stable out of all of them. 18 can be slightly intimidating because,
Yeah. Marriage also made Videl bland.
This is also true. At least, well, then I guess it's true. 18, best waifu of Dragon Ball. I will now die on that hill. I have made my statement and claim.
You ain't wrong.
Let's see, Hypnosis Mike. Oh, well, because Videl's not interesting anymore. You're right. I mean, she's stable, but she's not interesting either.
But then again,
at least 18.
But then again, neither is Gohan nowadays, so it evens out.
Yeah, Gohan's just as boring. I'm much more interested in Vegeta. Come on.
Yeah.
Guys, Gohan's supposed to have at least some form of interest. Come on. I'd like it if he was at least slightly interesting. The only character I find interesting in Dragon Ball, especially in Super right now, is Vegeta. But that's just because Vegeta's probably one of my favorite characters.
Yeah. That's what a lot of Gohan fans want. We don't necessarily want him to be another Goku. That would be stupid. We just want him to actually matter.
Yeah, exactly. He mattered in the Cell games, and then he mattered for a while in the Buu saga, and then he became irrelevant.
Yeah.
And then they continued his irrelevance moving into Dragon Ball Super. Yeah. When Super came along, he became even more irrelevant than he was in the Buu saga.
Yeah.
Which is sad and pathetic. I mean, he got one shot by goddamn Frieza.
Yeah.
This is a guy who went toe-to-toe with Frieza once. Let's keep that in mind and actually survived.
Yeah. This is the same.
And he was a kid.
Yeah. And that same kid beats
toddler. Yeah. But I mean, they make the excuse. Oh well, he hasn't been training. It's like, well, that's the problem. I know he's not. He's basically supposed to be more analytical and more closer to, I guess, Bulma than, or to be an intellectual person instead of a fighter. But he's a Saiyan still. Saiyans don't lose their interest in combat, even if he's only half.
Yeah.
You should still want to train at least to some extent.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even Goten expresses a more interest in fighting than him.
Yeah, and Goten is, well, I mean, one, he's a kid, but he's still only half Saiyan. But Goten and Trunks still have an interest in fighting. Maybe it's because they're still kids, but that drives me insane. Anyway, moving on to people's comments in the comment section. Hypnosis Mike, a world ruled by women, all weapons outlawed. Sounds like the perfect dream for the Anime News Network crowd. Might be. Who knows? Or they might find ways to be pissed about it.
Yeah, but again, are we in really any position to throw rocks here because we're both fans of an anime where the world was saved from an alien attack by a pop singer?
Yeah. Uh-huh. World End Harem's going to get controversial. I think I've vaguely heard about that one. I don't know. I don't think it's here on the list. I don't think that one's coming until winter, but or maybe later. Okay. Okay, what is this one called? Gal and Dino. After a night of drinking, of course, because of course it has to start with drinking, Kaede wakes up realizing that her drunken days, she has brought an unexpected guest home. A dinosaur! Okay. Kaede just goes with the flow and accepts her new living situation. Now she navigates her daily life while eating, watching TV, and shopping with her prehistoric roommate. Together, the duo enjoys each other's company as they take on whatever the day brings.
I feel sorry for her grocery bill.
Yeah, that's got to be a nightmare, right? This might be hilarious, though.
Even if it is a triceratops or some sort of vegan dinosaur.
It's hard to identify what kind of dinosaur it is because this is the dinosaur in the picture.
Oh,
and it looks like a Muppet.
Oh boy!
It looks like kind of like Barney the dinosaur kind of level of not really a dinosaur, but more like a goofball looking design.
Jeez,
is this thing like even a dinosaur? Are we sure this isn't a human in a costume?
Jeez. It looks like if Barney the dinosaur and one of the terrible thunder lizards had a child.
Pretty much. But yeah, there's that one. Gaburo, which is connected to Grand Blue Fantasy, I believe. Another mobile game adaptation.
Oh,
look, another mobile game adaptation. Tales of Crestoria. Which actually, I would watch this as an anime. The Wake of Sin. Because I've actually been playing this mobile game. Based on the Tales series, and it is absolutely fantastic and very relevant for this modern day and age. Considering how everyone loves to talk about cancel culture, how about this? This practically is cancel culture in a nutshell.
Oh boy.
Okay, so this is just an animated promo. Okay.
They said
Kanata and Melissa signing off on their journey. Well, no, it's more or less okay. So you know how? So basically, how would you say it? You remember the things like Minority Report and whatnot, where people accuse others of crimes because they see it happening or they make a claim. Basically, the main characters for Tales of Crestoria, at least Kanata and Melissa, are accused of a crime they did. Well, I mean, they committed a crime, but the reasoning and justification behind the crime is not known by the general public. So now they're being pursued by creatures known as enforcers because their crimes were televised, basically. Oops. A vision orb shows up, and then when people see what crime is committed, they cast judgment. So basically, mob rule decides whether or not you're a guilty criminal or not. Without actually doing any form of, due process, investigating, none of that happens. And basically, both Kanata and Melissa are accused of a crime and are basically sentenced to death.
So they took the Quintessa approach.
Yes. I don't know what that is. Why did I agree with you?
Where you either get to go home or you're fed to the Sharkicons.
Oh yeah, pretty much. It's like you're guilty. You're just guilty. Die. Because basically, the enforcers only show up if everybody agrees that you deserve to be condemned to death. Basically,
right.
And considering the situation with both Kanata and Melissa, their crime, while it is a crime, but they're justified in that crime considering the situation. Turns out that because Kanata's dad is a pastor in the village, and he
Oops.
raises all of the orphans. So then that's what Melissa is. She's an orphan. But it turns out that he's using the kids for things like slave labor and selling them off to people to be abused and mistreated and whatnot. And when Kanata finally realizes this, he goes crazy and ends up killing his dad. And Melissa burns the church down. But they're both condemned for doing so because nobody knows what was actually happening at the church.
Mm.
And the hits continue to go on and on and on because other characters show up that are also condemned of crimes that they didn't actually commit. So people are abusing their power and authority to punish people for technically doing the right thing. Because there's also a knight that you meet, I think it's in chapter 2, who he was pursuing you for a long time. He was basically, prototypical knight. He didn't, do anything bad or evil, but apparently the queen of the country that he works for had a crush on him, something fierce, because she hated her relationship with the king because he basically took her out of poverty and forced her to be his wife. And she just wants to be free. And she's killed, and and the knight is blamed for the murder.
Poor guy.
As well. It's like, yeah, it sucks. And so far, while I've been reading through, enjoying the story, I haven't really seen. Right now he's in a depressed state, and he doesn't want to be with everybody else because for the longest time he's been fighting what are they called? Transgressors are what you are referred to if you are condemned of a crime.
I believe so.
Yeah. No, that's what they call them. They call them transgressors. And yeah. It's a pretty good story. I was like, oh my god, this story is too good for a mobile game. I was not expecting this high quality for a mobile game. Mitsu. This group of girls wants nothing more than to work in the entertainment industry as professional comedians. Okay, the world may not know their names yet, but they're ready to prove they've got what it takes to make everyone laugh. Oh, okay, so it's a show about girls wanting to be comedians. Interesting. It's probably going to be funnier than most female comedians.
Yeah.
Female comedians for for us in the West.
Yeah, especially if they're written by Max Fasascio, where it's more stand-up therapy than stand-up comedy.
Okay. What is anime adapting 12 works from Alpha Polis Eternity books? Romance labeled for adult women. Interesting. Okay. Definitely not something I'm interested in. I see the ecchi tag and that kind of turns me away. If I'm being honest.
It's fine. You don't have to be a raging Tumblrite to not like ecchi.
This is true. I'm not really interested. I mean, I've watched some of Uzaki-chan, and that's probably the most tamest shit I've ever seen in my life. I've seen clips from other shows that do far more.
I've probably watched
their sexual
shows that done far more.
Heck, I watched the show Strike the Blood, and that one is, as far as I can tell, it's not an ecchi show, but it's definitely got a lot of sexual themes going on, considering it involves a vampire.
Yeah. But what else would you expect
but Strike the Blood wasn't a show about vampires? There's definitely going to be involving sexual imagery.
Well, Yeah, well, unless it's Vampire Hunter D, what else would you expect?
That's true. I still liked it. It was kind of funny, but that show I would call a harem too, because he basically has multiple girls chasing after him. I am the fourth progenitor, an immortal vampire. That's not what he says. That's what I'm calling him because that's what he is. What is this? Idol show. But looks like a boy idol band. I could care less. That one just definitely not interested at all.
If it ain't Firebomber, I'm not interested.
What?
If it ain't Firebomber, I'm not interested.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
Macross 7 reference.
Okay. It's a reference I don't get.
Yeah,
And these shows have no real synopses to speak of, so I can't tell you what they're about.
Great.
Jeez,
Can you guys figure out what your synopsises are before you upload this stuff so we don't have to guess?
Yeah, that would be nice. References are preferred.
Yeah, it's like going to a wiki page where there's nothing on it except for the subject title. It's like why have a wiki page with no information on it?
Yeah. What is this? Extra Olympia Kylos. Gemertos was a young man in ancient Greece who was a potter's apprentice, but also a rather timid otaku. I don't know how you could be that one during ancient Greece, but okay. Despite pursuing the arts, he was blessed with natural athletic talent. One day he gets dragged into a village conflict. Demetrios contemplates how helpless he is, but then is struck by lightning. When he comes to, he is no longer in Greece, but a strange land where he cannot understand the language and people look rather different. Yes, he somehow ended up in 1964 Tokyo, of course. Demetrios has no idea what Japan even is. What will become of him? Weird. Might be funny, though.
I don't know what Japan is. I haven't met Alexander the Great.
Most of the shows that normally end up at the bottom of these are the ones I end up not being interested in at all. Like, not even remotely. Because they're normally mostly like comedy shows and whatnot. Well, some of them are comedy shows, and others are just. I think they're ones that are obviously more targeted towards very, very young kids. So I have no real. Every time when I look at the fall 2020 season or any anime season that's going on at the time, those are always relegated to the bottom, and I normally don't care.
Yeah.
I like kind of peruse them, kind of look and see what they are, and it's like, no, don't care. I mean, I know what pedicure is. Never watched it. I know what it is.
An anime series. This should be interesting.
Magical girl stuff. That's about all I know. What's up? Not a Precure fan? Nope. What, Precure?
I guess. Oh, okay, for a second.
You were thinking of something else?
Yes, apparently.
Not particularly. Okay, no, I am not. I can't say that I am. I'm not an overly big fan of magical girl shows anyway, so that's a thing. Yeah. The only one I ever really watched was Sailor Moon.
Yeah. The only one I really liked was Devil Hunter Yoko.
I don't even know what that one is. I've never heard of it before. Well,
It's
maybe
an
I
old
have,
one.
but it's been a long time. I can believe it. I mean, yeah, Sailor Moon's the only one I ever watched. I tried to watch Madoka Magica a little bit, but I think I watched one episode and then I just never got back to it. So someday I'll probably have to go back to it.
Yeah. Ray Earth caught
But,
my interest, but I never watched it.
huh?
Ray Earth caught my interest, but I never watched it. A clamp, yeah.
My favorite magical girl show of recent times is Magical Spec Ops Asuka. Okay, hold on. Let me type that in. Magical Spec Ops Asuka. I see a lot of cute anime waifus. I'm getting a kind of, what is this? When a dangerous race of beasts known as Disguise attacked, spirits from another world form an alliance with Earth and grant certain girls the power to become magical girls to fight against them. 3 years after the war against Diaz, one of the magical girls, Asuka Otorio, is trying to return to living a normal life. However, Diaz's bears reappear from an unknown source, and Asuka to come out of retirement to join a squadron of magical girls to fight this new threat. Ah. Interesting.
Yeah.
That one might be good. I don't know. Like I said, haven't watched a whole lot of magical girl shows. Not that I'm against them, but never really watched a whole lot of them.
Yeah. If the show ain't got transforming mecha, I tend to ignore it. Or if it's a fan, or if
What's up?
Or if it has Gundams in it, or if it doesn't have Gundams in it.
Yeah.
Although the Gundams do occasionally transform, like in Wing.
Well, they did that in Zeta Gundam too. And Double Zeta as well.
Oh,
actually, wait, no. Transforming mobile suits have been a thing pretty much since the beginning because the ARC-7A can do it too. Because the core fighter can convert into the Gundam.
Yeah.
Although, I don't know, can you call that a transformation or do you call that like a docking sequence? It's more of a docking sequence, but still technically a transformation.
Yeah.
Because the core fighter is part of the Gundam itself. So
yeah.
The show is about magical girls dealing with PTSD after their fighting days. Ah. That might actually be interesting.
Interesting.
Although it's very rare that I think magical girls get PTSD from fighting monsters. Because they're normally so light and chipper and happy.
Yeah.
This one sounds like it's dark and brooding and it's trying to be a bit more edgy. Like, war is hell.
Yeah.
War is hell. War never changes. I was a magical girl back in World War II. I fought the Nazis.
Hold on.
I lost my left arm. Right. I still remembering the bombing of Pearl Harbor. A lot of good girls died that day. I don't know why, but I'm busting myself up thinking about that. Yeah, they're a bit out of sorts when they watch a teddy bear monster kill their parents in front of them. Yeah, that would probably do it. Doesn't matter how cute the teddy bear is, but if that teddy bear decides to kill your parents, yeah. New Gundam have Super Sentai combinations. You're not entirely wrong. Gundam Build Fighters did have basically a super robot. They had the Tryon 3, which was a reference to a super robot show, which is pretty much a Sentai.
Right.
Or it felt awfully Sentai-ish when I watched it. It's like, oh, they have 3 different components. They have a crab, they have a bird, they have a lion, and they all combined to form a giant robot with superpowers? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It checks. The only difference is that the team didn't wear color-coded uniforms. I wish they did. Then it could have really been a Sentai reference on top of it being a reference to a different super robot show.
Yep.
But not all of the Gundam shows have Sentai-esque combinations. They don't do that very often.
Yeah.
They just have transforming robots. That's all we get. So...
Well, what else are you going to fight a giant monster with? Hadouken lasers rarely work.
A giant robot. Either that or another giant monster. Those are your options. Either a giant robot or another giant monster.
Yep.
The toys can also combine. That is partially true. And the healer character becomes quite the sadistic torturer and is a bit crazy. Now all you're doing is reminding me of the show that's coming sometime in the future about a healer guy who's a sadistic bastard. That's all you're doing. That's all I know you're talking about the Spec Ops one, but now I'm just thinking of that other one. That's all I'm thinking now. I need to remember what it is. Healer anime. Yeah, oops, that's not what I wanted. Healer 2020. That was what? Okay, yeah. This is yeah. It's not doesn't have its release date yet for the anime yet. But what am I doing? I can just show it. What am I doing? I'm being a dumb ass. That's what I'm doing. This show, or this is coming eventually, called Redo of the Healer. And yeah, it's gonna be some messed up shit. It's gonna be probably, I would, at least from the synopsis and what I've heard so far, it's gonna be Goblin Slayer levels of messed up stuff that happens to characters. The difference is that the main protagonist is the one that's doing it to people. Instead of it being some sort of, hideous monster doing horrible and evil things, it's the main protagonist doing it. Of course, considering that I've read through what some people have shown about the manga and whatnot, I can understand why. Healing magicians cannot fight alone. Kiria, who was bound by this common knowledge, was exploited again and again by others. One day, he noticed what lay beyond healing magic and was convinced that a healing magician was the strongest class, which he is because he becomes broken as hell. However, by the time he realizes that potential, he was deprived of everything. Thus, he uses healing magic on the world itself to go back 4 years, descending to redo everything. This is a heroic tale of one healing magician who becomes the strongest by using knowledge of his past life and healing magic. A hero is not the type of word I would use for this individual.
Yeah.
I can't, considering some of the shit that I've heard he does, I cannot say that he is going. I can't say hero. Although the people who did horrible things to him have it coming, I won't deny that. Considering some of them, they tortured him and abused him both physically and sexually for 4 years. So I can't. I cannot, I cannot fault him for snapping and being a bit sadistic himself. Yeah, redo of a healer. This particular show, when it comes out, I'm sure will piss off many people.
Yeah.
On Twitter.
What doesn't piss people off on Twitter nowadays?
In about like 5 months. What?
What doesn't piss people off on Twitter nowadays?
This is true. But also let's remember that it's going to be forgotten in about a month or so.
Yes.
The outrage does not last long. It lasts for brief stints, and then they move on to whatever's next offends them. Try Red Worlds and Harem.
Yeah. That's why when it comes to certain things, I try to jump on the bandwagon while
I don't know what
hot.
that is. Let's look up that one. What?
It's why depending on what's going on, I try to jump on that bandwagon while it's still hot.
Worlds and Harem. What is this? This might be interesting. Let's see. In the year 2040, Rito is suffering from a rare disease and is put into cryostasis while waiting for a treatment to save his life is developed. 5 years later, Rito awakens and learns that while he was asleep, the world was struck by the MK, man-killing virus, that causes the death of almost every male human in the planet. Should say on the planet, Wikipedia. Could you please edit? With only a few surviving ones being put in cryostasis. Much to his surprise, Rito learns that he is one of 5 males in Japan who somehow developed immunity to the MK virus and is forced to take part in a breeding program to ensure mankind's survival. Okay. Rito investigates the secrets surrounding the MK virus and the mysterious disappearance of his girlfriend Elise. The series also shows the perspective of the other men who develop immunity to the MK virus, each with their own circumstances.
So dude's getting raped.
Okay. Yeah, this could ruffle feathers. I could see that happening.
Yeah, I guess.
My goodness.
Yeah, I guess sexual assault is only okay when it means the survive. If it means preserving mankind or something.
When it's the survival of mankind, it seems a little bit more akin to that culture of the Amazons. Because what they used to do is they used to kidnap, at least in the legends, they used to kidnap men and have sex with them so that they could procreate. Because they normally didn't engage with men at all. So they were used as slaves. So it's Y the Last Man as an anime. Kind of. I could kind of see some similarities. But I'm betting it's going to be a little bit more sensual than that. Yeah. If I had to hazard a guess. This is Japan we're talking about here. But yeah, I can see this being a controversial show. I could see that. Of course, probably to most of those people, harem animes are problematic anyway, so who gives a shit what they have to say?
Yeah. Well, there are. Well, these were probably the same people.
Unless it's a reverse harem, then it's completely okay. Because it's okay to objectify men.
Or if you're or yaoi or yuri if you're those kind of people.
Yeah. Completely okay. Completely normal. I mean, it is kind of funny. Actually, you want to know what's really funny? You know, the avatar picture I have right now of the main character from Trails of Cold Steel, the video game.
Uh-huh.
I'm remembering that I've had a few conversations with some of the characters during the game, and I had a recent conversation with the princess in the game, and we were talking about books because we were in a library or in somebody's library,
right?
And she refers to she talks about books that all the young maidens are fawning over that have currently become popular.
Mm-hmm.
And can you take a wild guess which one they're referring to? We were just talking about it. It's boys love mangas, or stories. That's what she's referring to. I'm like, yeah, okay. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
It's funny though. I actually, if I remember correctly, there was an event in the first Trails of Cold Steel game where I was interacting with one of my classmates who's a part of the literature club, and we had to proofread some of the manuscripts. And yeah, it was a boys' love story, and both of us were uncomfortable. It's like, hooray!
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, let's just be completely honest. People will find any reason to get upset over anything at this point. When it comes to whether it's a comic book, whether it's an anime, it don't really matter. People are going to find a reason to get pissed.
Yep.
And then it's completely okay for something completely different to be passed over. It's like, oh, that's completely acceptable. This is okay, but this is not. Exploitation of actual children? That's bad.
Hey, okay.
Or that's okay. Exploiting fictional animated characters who actually have no agency whatsoever?
Everyone
bad,
loses their
evil.
minds.
Shame on you. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. It's what I've come to expect. I do think it's kind of funny that there have been some anime channels who've talked about stuff like Redo of a Healer and some of the other shows, and they're like, oh, we know this is going to be controversial. I'm like, it's ridiculous to even talk about it in that format. Because the only people who give a shit about making it controversial are people who want to get attention from it. Dark fantasy stories have existed in anime for pretty much since the beginning.
Yeah.
And for that matter, we've had tons of... I remember like back in the early 2000s and the 90s, animes were far more brutal and messed up sometimes than what we have now.
Right.
So, anybody watched Guyver before?
Oh.
Whether it be the OVA series or
the TV show. Even
the rebooted one from, I think, like 2014. They're brutal and horrifying to see, but yet, nobody cared about that back in the early 2000s or in the early 90s and 80s when the original OVA came out. Of course, it was more niche back then, but still.
Geno Cyber.
I don't know that one. Were you going to mention Elfen Lied?
Yes. That too.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. There's plenty of messed up stuff that's happened in animes before. This is not new. If you don't like adult-themed content for anime, you don't have to watch it. You can continue to be mad and butthurt over it, but it's not going to help you any.
yeah, there's plenty of material. There's plenty of material. Studio Ghibli has plenty of material that's more your speed.
Yeah. Although I'm pretty sure that they'll find something problematic about that at some point too. Give it time. It happens every goddamn season like clockwork. They're going to vilify something for some stupid reason, and then everyone's going to be all like, okay, well, that drama's over. Moving on to the next one.
Yep.
This is why I don't spend too much time caring about the drama and whatnot. Like, what was it? You know, with the Ichizoku reviewer stuff, because that was mentioned earlier in the stream and whatnot, because people are like, what's going to be the controversial show for fall 2020? And I'm like, probably nothing, because the lineup doesn't look controversial at all. But people getting upset over Funimation dropping the show, I'm like, okay, I don't know why you care, considering most of the people who are talking and bitching about it, it's like, you guys have been bitching about Funimation for over a year now. If you don't care about Funimation, why are you talking about it?
Yeah, they've been an uproar over Funimation changing some of the lines of the dub, even though that's nothing new under the sun.
No, everybody's anime has been censored pretty much since the goddamn get-go. Watch any old animes from the 1980s that were adapted, and I guarantee you're going to find things that were censored.
Yeah. I mean, I've watched the Appleseed dub. That has more swearing in it than I remember the original Japanese ever having.
Exactly. Them altering and changing dialogue isn't new. Is some of it cringe-inducing and stupid? Yes. Congratulations. Have you ever decided to watch 4Kids dub a show?
Yeah.
You have no grounds to talk about this topic if you don't understand the history, in my opinion.
Yeah,
at least. I don't know.
The people who complain about the politically dubs and their political correctness clearly haven't watched Angel Cop, where the conspirators were Jewish people, but they had to change that. They had to change that in the dub to being to Americans so manga entertainment doesn't get called out for anti-Semitism.
Yeah. Censorship is a part of our lives, okay? American... Because here's the thing. The Japanese have the mentality that, at least in some instances of the American population, that we are hypersensitive about just about everything. We're puritanical. We're hypersensitive about... And they don't like sharing those topics with us. That's why sometimes the companies decide to censor the product themselves before it comes here. There's multiple JRPGs and other games that came out that got rid of Christian symbologies.
Final Fantasy.
They thought that they would be too sensitive. Yes, Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest. A lot of those games changed dialogue and other things.
Yeah, I mean, the holy element was white magic.
Yeah. There's been alterations and changes since the beginning. Getting upset over it, that Funimation is still doing it to this day, which they've probably been doing pretty much since the onset of their company, is ridiculous. Even the more thing was people were being upset that they dropped Ichizoku Reviewer while they still have other, ecchi-based content on their platform. I'm like, okay. But they chose to let it go. And they let go of other shows too. Not just the ecchi stuff. They drop a lot of different shows. Because they can't hold the license forever. Because they need to repay for it. And you got so goddamn butthurt over this because you thought the company knew what they were buying. Maybe they, more than likely, considering that bidding wars are happening for these Western, distributors to release the content, they probably are just looking for the most popular reviewed stuff possible to put on the platform without even bothering looking at it.
Yeah.
Why do you think they now do things like, warning, this is mature content for Goblin Slayer?
Yeah.
The first episode of Goblin Slayer came out, it was not like, warning, this has mature content. Because they didn't know what they had until they aired it, and then people got upset. And they're like, oh, well, we should have put a warning on that. Maybe we should have screened that first. But they're not going to do that all the time. Maybe they don't, because they're too busy trying to make profit. And they don't do anything until somebody, raises a fuss about it.
Right.
And, well, the other part about Ichizoku Reviewer that upset me, that I didn't really get a chance to really discuss and talk about because I didn't want to get involved, because I get sick and tired of listening to Hirohei and Yellow Flash run their goddamn mouths half the time. So I tend to ignore them. But them and other YouTubers, got all, they decided like, oh, hey, we're going to show Funimation, we're going to teach Funimation a lesson by going to a completely different website and ruining their stuff by rating their bullshit and causing an uproar.
And what did that accomplish? What? Nothing.
All it accomplished was the moderators of the My Anime List thing being far more stricter with their stuff. Congratulations, guys! You got exactly what you wanted, right? Was this what you wanted? I mean, some people were complaining that their lists weren't, properly modded anyway. Well, guess what? Now they're more moderated now. Now you can't do bullshit raids and try and up the scores on any shows. Congratulations. You got what some people were already complaining about. You did good, guys. Bravo. Golf clap to you. And you dragged that bullshit out for almost a month. Both Noble and Nux should have dropped the topic immediately. That was so goddamn stupid to get My Anime List involved in the first place. Because they didn't do anything. What does this have to do? Does this show Funimation anything at all? No. You just wanted to flex your egos and show that you have a large enough crowd that you can manipulate bullshit. And get them to be your freaking monkeys and do what you want. I'm sorry. Was that a bit too harsh?
No. Not at all.
Maybe it was a little harsh, but that's the thing. I like Noble and Nux. I think some of their stuff is goddamn hilarious, but still doesn't change the fact that their behavior during that whole entire event was goddamn ridiculous. And then I remember situations like Hirohei did a video where he was talking about the fact that there was an announcement from My Anime List where they were pointing out that they had interns that were unpaid or mods that weren't being paid that were working on the website and had to fix the problem. And it's like, how dare they not have paid moderators and bullshit? It's like, a lot of the stuff is probably works for nothing. Some of them who probably are getting paid probably get paid next to nothing anyway. So why in the fresh hell are you upset over this? Why are you doing a video not understanding that a lot of companies hire interns or people that they don't pay?
Because looking at the things is hard.
Doing any form of research hurts your brain, apparently. To do research on it to realize that, yeah, My Anime List probably has a lot of free moderators who don't get paid for their job.
Way to make Jeremy for the coring look credible, guys.
You cut out a bit. What happened?
Way to make Jeremy from the coring look credible.
Exactly. This is the reason why I don't have a problem talking about the topic, but if you're going to talk about it, at least have a semblance of a thought before you open your goddamn mouth. This is not me completely defending Funimation and their bullshit. Yeah. Because Funimation makes their mistakes. Was pulling Ichizoku Reviewer a bad idea? Probably. It definitely didn't garner them very much support for doing so, but it's their decision. It's a company. They make choices. Some of them are horrible choices. It's not like everybody throws a parade for EA every time they actually make a good decision, which they rarely do. No one's, patting Ubisoft on the back for its bullshit. If you don't like Funimation and how they do business, fine. Don't watch the programs on their show. Don't support them, and just go do your own thing. If you want to pirate bullshit, go right ahead. Granted, I think that's not helping anybody either, but at least you're not giving your money to the company which you despise or detest.
Yeah.
I guess that was a rant that was a long time coming.
Yeah, except for
I consider doing a rant video about it, but
yeah, some of the content I kind of have to do it because of certain companies and their shenanigans.
Yeah, if that's what you want to do. I mean, here's the thing: I have a subscription to Funimation, and I'm not going to hide from the fact that I do. Do they make some bad calls and bad decisions? Sure, they're a company; they're bound to do it.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to stop paying for the service because that's the weird thing. People are saying like the service is terrible. I'm like, well, I've used it now for over 2 years now, and I've only run into a few hiccups and problems every now and then.
Yeah, from what I've seen of it, it's no worse than
website right now could definitely use. Both of them are their services. They could probably do with some improvements. I think Crunchyroll has improved quite a bit since before when they had the HTML5 situation, because that was the player that they were using, and then HTML went out the door, and now they're using a new one.
Right.
Basically, they were forced to change. They didn't have a choice. When people sad about Ichizoku Reviewer, I'm sad about Plunder having bad adaptation because the mangas are great. That's fair. Yep. I've never read the manga for Plunder. I've watched the anime. I thought it was hilarious, personally.
Yeah, but yeah,
I go back and finish watching it.
But yeah, the closest thing to Macross I'll ever get to watch on any legal streaming system is Funimation, but that's only because they have Robotech there. That's the closest thing.
That's kind of my policy when it comes to piracy. If I can't gain access to it, through legal means, that's the only way I would pirate anything.
Yeah.
Because the creators of the shows and whatnot deserve the support and the money. I know people have, talked about both Crunchyroll and Funimation, like, oh, they don't pay the Japanese studios enough. I'm like, well, do we know all the numbers exactly? Because I'd like to know, because the only ones you talk about is the ad revenue they get from being on Funimation and Crunchyroll. Well, let's see. Funimation dubs most of the shows that are on Toonami, which is added ad revenue that they probably more than likely contractually have to split with the Japanese studios. And Crunchyroll and Funimation, as their websites proper, probably split profit with them too. On top of probably, let's not also forget licensing agreement.
Yeah.
How much do you think the companies actually pay for each individual show that they license? How much do you think Dragon Ball is worth? Does anybody know? Because I don't. I'm betting it's not cheap to license and own it for the English side of things. I'm pretty sure the studio in Japan is making some money. They might get upset with some of the decisions that the Western company makes, though. I'm not going to deny that. They could probably tell them to cease and desist some bullshit, which I'd be completely okay with. If Funimation or Crunchyroll are causing trouble for them, they should step in and say, hey, enough of your bullshit. Get back to work. We aren't giving you these shows so you can push your propaganda or do your bullshit. We give you those shows so that you can help expand our reach, not to be dumbasses.
Yeah.
Do.
That was my phone.
But yeah. And it amazes me that people are actually completely okay and more willing to pirate stuff now because of Funimation and Crunchyroll. When we know more about the Japanese studios now than we ever did when we were kids or when we were teenagers. We didn't know that they were financially struggling. Nobody knew that shit. I didn't until more recently. Their animators are barely making enough to live off of, and you guys are out there pirating their shit. Why? Because you don't. Well, I mean, I understand not liking the service, but still, you're not helping the studios at all. You're not supporting them. They have partnerships with Funimation and Crunchyroll and other services, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, whatever the studios choose to support. Those guys need as much money as they can get their hands on at this point. I don't think it's entirely fair to just decide, oh, I'm just going to straight up pirate. And only pirate. I know some people say, like, oh, well, we can support the studios by, giving them money directly. We can, buy merchandise and whatnot. And it's like, yeah, that's great.
Some of that merch
those things also require a split, too.
Yeah. And some of that merch costs a fortune.
Yeah. It's not exactly everybody's going to go out and buy a $200 to $300 statue. Yeah. I'm sorry, not everybody is made of money. So unless you're actually doing that and like you're buying like 15 of those statues every single time they release one, or you're buying,
or you're getting the next, or you're getting like a new lake or a new alpha fighter has a new alpha fighter's come out. Let me purchase it.
Yeah, you can buy as much stuff as you want, but also keep in mind that the companies that are also making the statues and the products are also taking a cut as well, not just the studio.
Yeah,
I think that at least my mentality is every bit of money helps them, even if it's not a lot. It's at least keeping their lights on and giving their staff some form of money.
Right.
I'd much rather be at least content knowing that they're at least getting a meal out of what I'm doing than not giving them anything at all. I'll buy the merchandise and I'll support the shows legally, unless the shows are not available legally.
Yep.
Within which case, then, welcome to Pirate Bay. Hi ho, off to pirating I go. It's what I have to do when I want to watch pretty much most of the tokusatsu stuff now, although that's changing too.
Oh, they're starting to get they're starting to be imported over here.
Kamen Rider is starting to get imported to the States. Yeah,
interesting.
Through some streaming services. There's the streaming service Pluto TV. That's a free app that runs, ads and whatnot, and they have an entire channel dedicated to tokusatsu. So they air Sentai and Kamen Rider.
Cool.
Although I would prefer it as more like kind of like a Netflix thing where I can binge the show, but unfortunately that's not how it works. It's more like standard TV where, everything is set on a schedule and you have to watch it.
Oh.
I'm not a huge fan of how the process works, but the fact that it's now legal means that, hey, maybe we'll get rights to release DVDs of these shows at some point.
That'd be nice.
Considering this is in partnership with Shout Factory.
Yeah, I'd certainly like to...
I'm totally okay with that. If that means I could purchase the DVD collection for like Kamen Rider Kuga, I will do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, if I can get a legal copy of Zeo Ranger, that'd be nice.
I don't know why, but I wanted to show off Kuga for some reason.
Yeah. Or even Die Ranger.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the furthest back right now that Shout Factory has went for the Sentai is Jetman.
But
you can buy
the Super Sentai Gatchaman.
Yeah. But yeah, Die Ranger actually, I believe, has a DVD set actually now. Hold on a second. Let me look this up real quick. Super Sentai. Sentai Shout Factory. There's Zoojer. Where are you? I know there's more of you. Because we've got Car Ranger, Go 5, Time Ranger, Mega Ranger, the one that's from Power Ranger Zeo.
Oh, yes.
Hurricane's now available too. Oh, and so is
that was the one that became Ninja Storm, wasn't it?
You cut out, man. What happened?
Oh, you said Hurricane. That's the one that became Ninja Storm, wasn't it?
Yep. And the other ninja-based one, Kaku Ranger, is also available.
Yeah, the one that became Alien Ranger.
Yeah. Let's not talk about Alien Ranger. I'd prefer not to.
Well, I haven't. Well, until Ninja Strike came about, I haven't seen any of them pass. I haven't seen any of them pass the second season.
Yeah, but Die Ranger is also available too on DVD because that was season. What was it? Season 2 of Power Rangers.
Well, kind of. Yeah.
Ranger, so.
Yeah. Or at least they used the Zords from there
and the
White
Ranger
outfit.
Yeah. They didn't use the rest
other
of
Rangers. They didn't get upgrades,
which was very sad. I kind of wish they did. That would have been cool. But unfortunately, no, they did not get new costumes.
Yeah. You'd also have to explain.
They got stuck with the same bullshit.
Yeah, you'd also have to. Yeah, they'd have to explain why Trini all of a sudden has a drunken style.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, Die Ranger is available too. I know everybody talked about Die Ranger to me when we were talking about Tokusatsu a lot, and they're like, "You should watch Die Ranger." I'm like, "That looks pretty cool. I'd probably like it." Of course, I like most Super Sentai anyway, so it's not hard.
But yeah, most Americans didn't really see those suits until Megaforce.
Yeah, and they didn't really give a full explanation as to why.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute. I know these are from. Yeah, it's like, yeah. But imagine being a kid like, wait. Well, most kids wouldn't know about that, but imagine being an adult who watched Power Rangers in the good old days, being like, I don't remember these suits.
Yeah, where did this come from? Yeah, I think I remember watching Megaforce. I'm like, wait, where did this come from? I don't recognize it at all. And then I learned that they used footage from the actual Sentai for Gokai Ranger, and I'm like, that was a bad idea.
Yeah.
Or Gokaiger, I'm sorry. Which, by the way, Gokaiger, great anniversary from what I watched. That was fantastic. I watched, I think, 10 episodes of that. I never got to finish it, but I liked it. And that's me not knowing anything about most of the characters from past Sentai.
Yeah.
I just like the main cast more than anything. I did understand some of the characters and references, but definitely better than Megaforce.
Yeah, Megaforce was just awful. There's
and
a super
we should refer to it as Super Megaforce. That was all he was ever good for. A simple explanation for that. You are not Zordon. Get the hell out of here.
Right? Yeah, Mister.
Your explanation is bullshit.
Yeah, Mister. I was asleep for. I was asleep for. Who knows how many seasons at this point? point where all these other threats were about.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Very poor excuses. But hey, Power Rangers has not been on a good streak. Although Beast Morphers was pretty good. I'll give them credit for that, as it was better than their last attempt at a series. Because
Yeah,
Ninja
Ninja
Steel
Steel
was goddamn
that was
atrocious.
that was awful. It's like, can you please stop having
What'd you say?
Ranger seasons? It's like, can you please stop having these Ranger seasons being set in high school?
Yes, please. That wasn't just my only problem with it. My problem with it was the show was so goddamn annoying.
Yeah.
Not from a plot sense, it's just annoying with like how the characters are behave and are portrayed. It's like, this is the most annoying bullshit I've ever dealt with. This isn't
like,
this isn't even like Mighty Morphin Power Ranger level of you're like, oh hey look, Bulk and Skull doing shenanigans and being idiots. At least they were comedic and funny. The comedic relief for this one was goddamn terrible. They chewed up way too much of the time in the show.
Yeah, it's like, you guys aren't Bulk and Skull.
Yeah,
I mean, the Bulk and Skull duo from Dino Thunder wasn't that good either, but they were much more tolerable than these jerks.
Yeah, and even the Bulk and Skull characters for Beast Morphers are better than they are. Because at least they're trying to be funny. They're not annoying. They're not super annoying. They're just like, oh, hey, here's some slapstick humor for you. We know you guys like that stuff, at least a little bit. Here you go. And they don't take up too much of the time and the energy of the show.
Yeah.
Unlike in Ninja Steel, where it felt like they were in the show too damn much.
Yeah.
We were supposed to be talking about anime, and here we are talking about
yeah.
and Power Rangers. Yeah, well, you can't really blame me and fault me for that. It's been a while.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about Hirohei and their shenanigans and pirating. That's how we got on this subject.
I don't know. Well, no, we just diverted somehow.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I don't know. It's I sometimes, like, every once in a while when I'm like looking through my YouTube feed, I'll see videos from either him or somebody else, Clownfish TV or anybody else. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, when they're not talking about Funimation, they're talking about She-Ra or She-Ra.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the only reason, well, at least in my personal opinion, the only reason why Hirohei has the following and the attention that he has is because of the Vic Mignogna controversy.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and here's the thing. The Vic Mignogna situation is none of our business.
Yeah.
It's only not public because people made it so.
Yeah.
Because I can't remember what video it was or who made the video. It was a while back. And basically someone summarized all of the bullshit that happened to Vic, which I still feel very strongly that he didn't deserve what happened to him.
No.
But basically it was summarized into he potentially did something inappropriate with a coworker while he was engaged. Huh?
Like, that hasn't happened before.
While he was engaged. So basically his crime is infidelity. That's pretty much the gist of his crime. Most of the other stuff that people tried to pin on him is not substantial enough to prove that he's done anything wrong.
Yeah.
Well, he did confess to his coming from a very affectionate family. Not that justifies what allegedly happened here.
Well, yeah, because here's the thing: if he tried to get into a relationship with a female coworker, and it was not reciprocated, that would be grounds for termination.
Yeah.
actually, in a sense, he probably shouldn't have even been doing that in the first place, because most companies do not allow for flirtation to happen at the workplace. It's normally in the policy. You're not allowed to be. I mean, even let's say you work at a company or at a business and you're a couple, like you're married or whatnot. Normally, they don't have you working in the same department or the same area, because more than likely you would be too distracted with each other.
Yep.
And also, who knows what could happen. Could get, pretty much. No fraternizing. It's not allowed. This is a business. You're here to work, not here to play.
Yeah.
So, if he was flirting or being a little bit too close to some of his female coworkers, that could be actual legitimate grounds for him to be fired. I'm not saying that it's right, considering his background and history with his family, but still, there is the potential that he may have taken it too far, and he could be terminated legitimately for that behavior. Him being entirely ousted from the entire, anime voice acting community, no, that's wrong, and that the industry itself, that's wrong, and that was taken too far. And people who he considered friends stabbing him in the back, also not cool.
Yeah.
Unless he actually committed an actual crime where, justifiable wrongdoing occurred and can be proven, you guys should not have done that.
Yeah.
Because it made all of you look like assholes.
Yeah. And now some of the guys that was on the let's all get rid of manana bandwagon, they're on the choppy block now, from what I'm hearing.
They got in trouble too. I did think it was kind of funny when that footage, or the audio footage from, I guess, some jokes that some of the Dragon Ball cast were doing was leaked around, and people were turning that into a mountain of bullshit. And I'm like, voice actors do this all the time.
I mean, they tried to bring Thundercats into this, which really pissed off Lyle Convoy. Lyle Convoy did a whole video. Lyle Convoy Reviews did a whole thing on why the Thundercats outtakes don't compare to this.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so let's look at it this way, because I think that this is important, since abridged series are very popular here on YouTube. And a good portion of those shows decide to make very crass and sometimes crude jokes using those characters. Why is it any different that normal voice actors who are actually paid to do a job might do the same thing? I remember Ryan Reynolds actually mentioning this on a tweet it was probably a couple months or so after Detective Pikachu. And he said that there were outtakes that we're never going to get to see because he was incredibly crass and vulgar in them. Basically think his Deadpool, but with Pikachu.
Right.
And we're never going to see it because, obviously Nintendo and Warner Brothers are not going to allow us to see it. It'd be hilarious to watch. I'd want to see that. But we're never going to see it because, family-friendly content. We don't want kids to see Pikachu and see Deadpool at the same time.
Right.
Funny for the adults, not so much for the little kids. They'd be scarred for life when Pikachu is making, gross sex jokes and crap. It'd be funny, but not appropriate. The fact that this was leaked means that somebody in the company was spiteful enough to do it and try to make it look bad. To me, when I saw it, when I heard the audio clips, I'm like, this is just them blowing off steam and doing crazy, stupid shit. I honestly don't see the problem with this. Some of the comments were not exactly nice, but
but that bit was
definitely does not make the voice actors look good when they.
But that bit with what I'm assuming is with with Gohan and Chi Chi. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty was not to mention
the content is highly.
Not to mention the whole Dende thing, who was.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, a lot of that stuff was crass and was not exactly the most pleasant thing to listen to, but considering this was never intended to be out in the public in the first place, I can't exactly be mad at the voice actors for doing it. It doesn't seem right when there are plenty of abridged series guys who actually are doing it openly and in public. They're voice actors too. Amateur ones, but they're still voice actors, and they're making crass and crude jokes with characters that they don't own, which I'm okay with. I actually love watching an abridged series and laughing my ass off, but doesn't mean that it's I can't fault professionals who want to blow off steam and do something similar. The only difference is it's not intended to be seen in the public.
Right.
That means just somebody was spiteful enough to share it. It was never intended to be heard by us. Unless they actually did a blooper or outtake reel with that intentionally in mind. If that was the case, then it'd be like, oh boy, that'd be its own kettle of fish to deal with.
Yep.
But that was never we were never intended to see that.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure that if we spent any amount of time with Vic Mignogna, I'm fairly positive we would probably see him doing similar things. I would not put it past him. Considering some of the characters that he has played in the past, yeah, he could do some questionable content that we're not intended to see. I mean, people lost their shit when he was just re-reciting lines from Ouran High School Host Club, and that got people upset because female fans requested that he say it.
He just all that because he fulfilled
a fan. That was a line that he said in the show. What?
And someone wanted him to say it.
Yeah, the coffee one. I saw clips of that before. I'm like, well, it's a line when he said it in the show. Why is it any different when he's doing it in public? What can we say? Those girls absolutely adored his portrayal of I can't remember the character's name. God damn it. And it sucks. About a month or so ago, I rewatched Ouran High School Host Club, and you'd think I'd remember the name. But I didn't. Yeah. I'm a dumbass. But that's beside the point. I guess my point is that, there's voice actors can sometimes say or do crass things when they're in the voice booth. The only place where that's pretty much never allowed is Disney Sound Studio.
Yeah.
You'll get fired for doing that shit.
Yeah.
They don't allow that there.
Yeah, Mickey's not allowed to cuss.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's kind of funny. Like, people were so upset with that Dragon Ball one, and the funniest thing is I've shared a clip before of a YouTube video from the Fate Zero or a Fate Zero abridge. Let me see. Yeah, this Lancelot abridge. And I recommend people check this video or actually watch this video. I'm going to share the screen real quick. And just so people can see it, it's this one right here called Berserker is a Gift from God. Gift of the Gods, Fate Zero abridge. It was from this video right here. And this is just a clip of Lancelot. This version of him for the abridge, saying some of the most crude and vulgar things possible. I'm not going to play it on YouTube because I'm afraid that would get my channel into a heap of goddamn trouble.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it is vulgar
content,
as hell. Yeah, I mean, look at it. It's the thumbnail literally says "triggered" on it.
Yep.
It's going to trigger people. What he says. And if this voice actor who made this joke is allowed to do that, I think we can give at least some of the cast of Dragon Ball some leeway with some of their bullshit too.
Right.
Slightly. Maybe not entirely, but slightly. Anyway. That was my rant about Funimation and all the bullshit.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's about it. I actually should probably stop and go eat dinner.
Good idea.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Shinobi, for coming on.
Yep. I'm glad I was able to keep you awake.
Thank you. It's only 8 o'clock here. Why does everybody think I'm going to fall asleep? It's the funniest shit ever. It's like, guys, I'm on the West Coast. I'm not on the East Coast. When you're streaming at like 1 p.m. in the goddamn morning, Englantine, it's like only 6 o'clock for me.
Right.
Or something of that nature. I don't know.
Right.
Like when he starts his auctions at like, I think he starts them at like about 10 o'clock at night. It's like only 6 o'clock for me. I'm like, it's not that bad, guys. I'm not going to fall asleep unless I was sleep deprived, which I'm not. Considering I don't have to work very much anymore, I get to sleep in all I want. Anyway, see you guys in the next stream or the next video. I actually have a video that I actually recorded something that I will need to edit probably, where I will talk about the ending to The World God Only Knows, which was a god-awful ending that hurt my feelings. And I'm going to talk about it, but I'm not going to talk about it here. I'm going to save it for the video because I already talked about it.
Yep.
Anyway, we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.